Okay, we're live and we're just gonna wait for Tyler. Beth and I don't give a shit.
We don't give a shit.
We
don't give a shit. We hate the show. Here we go. Not this show. We like this show.
Well, I'm irritated with this triple eviction. I think Nicole should have gone instead of Danny. I have issues with that. I told you David was going to go after Kevin. Just it's a bunch of stuff. Enzo didn't get touched. Memphis went HOH. Okay, we're live. We went ahead and hit the live button.
Hi everybody.
Everybody's in the same mood. We're all in a mood. It's called mood. This is welcome to my weekly mood.
You missed it. We started off the show by going, we don't like the show.
I put out a poll on Twitter. I said, which has been more fun to watch, this season of Big Brother or the presidential debates that happened on Tuesday?
There was more conflict with the presidential debates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny. Like, they weren't funny.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the thing. I love how the house guests fake act surprised that there was a triple eviction. Oh, we were so. Did you see what popped up?
Cody deserves an Emmy.
Supposed to say anything?
Oh my God, bro! I mean, come on. Also, I just want to give a shout out. Kyle Reynolds is in the chat, and I don't know if you remember, Allison Reynolds played with us in our mini last summer. He was the one that had to be quiet in a room for like 6 rounds, and he couldn't talk. And he had to have his hands up in the air and all that fun stuff. So.
That sucks.
Welcome into the chat, Reynolds.
Welcome into the chat.
Are we still waiting on Alex, or is it just the 3 of us tonight?
I don't know.
I sent Alex, or you sent Alex the link, right?
I sent him the link.
Okay, cool. So hopefully he'll just join when he's ready.
He's probably wrapping up his deal.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay, so
everyone in the chat though: Precious Smith, Gym Leader Daniel, Roy the Virgo, Kyle Reynolds, Romero 2320, everybody,
Gregory,
everybody. Thank you. Thomas the Talker, everybody. I'm sorry, we're in a mood. I'm blue. Y'all, did y'all notice that? I'm not in a white or black t-shirt.
I have white and black and blue on me.
I'm in the same blue hoodie I'm in every single week. I can't wear a tank top on this show anymore, else Allison will call me on it.
You're missing something, though. Isn't there an accessory?
Oh, that's right.
Like 5 minutes.
Yes. So, for those that missed yesterday's show, I said on air, if David goes home in this triple eviction, I will wear a certain doo-doo hat that has not came out since Survivor Winners at War.
So wear it for a minute.
I'm going to wear it for a minute because I said that David was going to be safe no matter what, and I was wrong. Allison was right. I was wrong. This is all that she wants, and I'm trying to get everybody in a good mood because we are about to have a therapy session here about this triple eviction.
We're going balls deep in therapy.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I mean, like, where do we start with all of this? I mean, I know where to start. Let's start by talking about.
Hey, Valencia in the chat.
Before we start talking about like who won the comps, who went home, all of that stuff, I am so frustrated at production for having so many slip ups in this episode. And I don't know if it's because like there were. They didn't know it was a triple eviction. They thought it was a double. Julie was like, haha, they don't know yet. And then they see a freaking title card on Julie's screen saying triple eviction. And so like that surprise was totally ruined before the vote even happened. And then Tyler was having like conversations in the hallway for the diary room when they were
during
going to
the vote.
That is so inappropriate.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I was answering. Just so you know, I'm answering the question, who went home? Kevin, David, and Danny, because I don't want it coming back to me later that I don't answer freaking questions. Okay, so what happened in the diary room hallway? I must have been taking selfies during that.
Yeah, so Christmas, like she voted out Nicole first, and then Christmas and Tyler had a little convo. Tyler asked Christmas.
They walked into the walked in
so
and out of
Tyler asked Christmas who she voted for, and she told him, and that told him like, okay, like maybe we can do this. He votes out Nicole, and then Enzo's next, who is the swing vote in that situation, and they have like a whole like 2-minute conversation before Enzo goes into the diary room, and I just think that's so inappropriate. Like that should be total lockdown from having
Enzo forever to come into the diary room to vote. Did you not notice that?
Yeah, because production
because they were
let
talking.
Tyler have this conversation.
It was
what?
It's a little scrumptious. I love that.
Oh God, Jesse, no.
Scrumptious. Drama. This whole show is #scrumptious.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to give a shout out to the Jessamy Street. Great streamer. Please check him out if you're on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was, no, here's how I'm generally feeling. I think we all came into this with an idea of, okay, we're likely going to see Danny go, which we did. Yeah. And we knew that Kevin was going to go, but we had hope that there was going to be somebody else besides maybe Nicole that would go. And I don't think a lot of people thought David, but as soon as Memphis won, I went, well, there goes David. Like, I just knew that it was going to happen. And it's just like, it's so frustrating to me because we had a chance to get a white straight guy out this week and we just didn't do it. Yeah. We got a woman out and the last 2 minorities out.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how people can't figure out that working with people who have marginalized social identities can be a huge asset to your game because they have a perspective on how to interact with people and how to have to use things that normal people don't have to do. And what I mean by normal is if you are in a privileged enough position to be cis, straight, white, whatever, a man, they always have to come up against obstacles in life, right? So they could be such an asset to your game. Like, I just don't understand it. Why are we always like, why is it always just, okay, let's have like, we're going to have 4 fucking white guys at the end, or Christmas. So 4 fucking white guys at the end.
I'm not shocked. I'm sorry, I'm not shocked. This doesn't shock me.
No.
In 20 years, this does, sadly, it doesn't shock me. And I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that they knew it was a triple. I'm not shocked that they got to act like it's not. They're all horrible actors. It was a nightmare. It was silly. It was dumb. They should have kept Danny. I don't know why they kept Nicole. She doesn't win comps. Danny won 1 HOH. She doesn't win anything else. Woof, woof.
Sorry, and anytime Allison goes on a rant, like this is just like the perfect gift to go along with that.
We should come up with a gift like for all 3 of us that matches our personalities.
I could put our heads on top of somebody. That would be really funny.
For sure. Show the Janelle drinking because that's what Tyler's really thinking. Allison's going off. Exactly what I was saying.
And this is all of us to this season.
Yeah. This season was doomed when the first 2 people up on the block were Keisha and Kevin.
Yes.
And Keisha went, like, I didn't want Kevin to go in that situation. I didn't want Keisha to go, but like, come on.
Yeah. So let's talk about Kevin for a second. We'll kind of go in order of like the things that happened, but I thought Kevin had a really good speech going out. He said, "This is All Stars. Don't find yourself blindsided because you didn't listen to the conversations we had." And I thought that was great. And I really respect that. Like, Kevin just went through so much this season, honestly, like a million times more than his original season. In
his original season.
Yeah, and I understand that, like, he probably just felt like so defeated. And to come out to Julie Chen saying that, like, listen, like, you made an impact this season, and she validated him saying, like, you were 1 competition away from winning Big Brother 11. Like, there's nothing to frown about your performance this season. Like, you are still a great player.
You know that Julie was like asking people ahead of time, which season was he on? Right. How did he doing that? And all that because she doesn't know she doesn't know.
No, she doesn't.
I would like to address this for a minute, Kim. I have to agree. Okay. I'm very disappointed in Enzo tonight. He had opportunities to shake things up. All I want to do, is shake things up. Well, you had 2 opportunities tonight and you blew them both.
Mm-hmm.
So
I really thought that he might take out Nicole instead of David.
I really thought he would, and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, listen, Danny calling out a final 2 in her speech really isn't that. I mean, you're not going to get a gold medal in the Big Brother Olympics for that. I mean, there's a final 2 in everything. Everybody's got a final 2. Are you kidding me? Give me a break. But look, props to her for calling, and I'm glad she did. I just wish, I'm over Nicole Frady Cat, and she needs to go. That's it, yo. And Enzo showed he has 1 nut. He doesn't have 2. I'm very upset with him.
Here's the thing. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Enzo still did what's best for his game, and he's still positioned best in this house. Like, point blank period. I'm more upset with everybody else for just going along with the idea of, like, I would have preferred that you kick off with the second elimination of the night. Put the girls up against each other there. Come on. Because at the very least, what you're going to end up like, take David down. Why are you listening to Memphis?
Yeah.
Why? He literally has no agency. He might be winning these competitions and such, but why are you appeasing him? Wouldn't you think it'd be better to break up that duo and shake up the house and know that you're a part of it? Because then your competitors who are on your side are going to lose the next competition, and you can better your numbers moving forward. You can scoop up someone like David on your side. I don't understand this idea of let's get rid of everybody who's not in my alliance, because now you all are pointing guns at each other. You need those extra people. You need a David. Now, I don't think Nicole's going to go next. I think Tyler will probably go next.
Yeah, I think Nicole is the new David going into like the rest of the season, honestly.
Totally.
She's a goat. She's a big, fat goat. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's just
I mean, even Danny said, like, when she was talking to Julie, she was like Nicole has like the least amount of chance to win this game moving forward.
Oh, hey, Alex. Hey, Alex, how are you?
Sorry, I had to wait for my stream to end before I could pop over.
No, you're good.
I'm pulling some serious double duty tonight.
Guys, Alex Kidwell here. If you aren't following him on his Twitch stream, please go drop a follow right now, especially if you're on my Twitch channel. It's just Alex Kidwell, right? At Alex Kidwell?
Yeah. Twitch.tv/Alex Kidwell. And tonight we had like a really great, so we had like over 500 people watching live. And I think it's, I think the fact that it was like a live show and a triple is like really helpful. And I had people, like there's people in Canada who weren't able to get tonight's episode anywhere. Oh. I'm like, just come watch on my Twitch channel. Like until they shut me down, I'm just going to keep rolling.
That's right.
That's great. That's great.
But I've also kind of realized like the last couple streams, I've gotten criticism for talking over the stream. Like people are like, stop talking so much. And I also haven't gotten the stream taken down or like any issues. So I think that actually is what lets you get away with it. Like if you're talking over it, you're creating something new. That's like an episode commentary piece. You know what I mean? So like, I think that's how I'm getting away with it, to be honest.
No, I think
the more I talk, the better.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Alex, we won't tell you to stop talking here. So we want to hear.
I come in and take it over. Yeah, right.
We want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the triple eviction, the first triple eviction in Big Brother US history? What do you think? How'd it go?
I mean, I'm so glad that they, I want to start with the positives, obviously. Like, I'm so glad it wasn't the Big Brother Canada eviction, that it was like a true triple eviction. They didn't cheat. You know what I mean? Like Big Brother Canada cheats. It's like you call it a triple, but this is a special double. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real about what this is. So I really do appreciate it until I get sued next week. That's fine. And Melissa's a lawyer. She was on with me tonight. Melissa assures me that it's just not worth it for them to sue. And I agree. Yeah. I concur with her expert opinion. But I think I'm really glad they took the swing. You know what I mean? They went for it. They did 4 competitions in a single 2-hour block. Like that was risky for them to try to pull off, even if it's on tape delay, like it's still tough. Like all the fans were like, they're not going to risk that. And I'm like, dude, go see like a local community theater production and see how hard 10 kids with $500, like they'll turn over a set 800 times. Like I was telling Melissa this, like I've gone and seen like a Little Mermaid and it was so low budget, but like it was so well done. I mean, they had like shimmery, shiny guys would just come and like just wave stuff in the background. And it's like, oh, I'm under the sea. Like it works. Yeah. Like the guys who played the eels, it was a guy who had knee-high stockings on his arms, and he was just 2 eels. And it fucking works. It worked. It's like, dude, creativity can get you around a lot.
I think I would rather see that community production than the rest of this season.
And that brings me to my criticism is that, like, how did we end up with all the resources and all the money that CBS has? How do we? It's the same puzzle fucking twice. I mean, we can't get 8 new strips of plastic.
Literally, Alex, I went to pee during the break and I came back and I'm like, did my YouTube back up or something? Came back in competition?
Hopefully said Groundhog Day. She wasn't fucking around. Yeah.
It was different the second time. They had to walk back and forth. Come on.
Oh,
it was. It's like it's fundamentally different, but it's like, dude,
it's
like
the same thing.
Just different pieces. It's so weird. It just
like you couldn't flip over even the carpet area to make it not look like fire and ice. You couldn't. I don't know.
I mean, right. There was time in between, and then also like this is the one season where if you wanted to like have filmed this at 11 this morning, you could have gotten away with it. You know what I mean? So I want to commend them for taking the swing, but I also want to hold them accountable for what the fuck did I just watch? You know what I mean? Like,
and just we were talking
so low budget and tacky.
It just was low budget and tacky. But also before you joined, we were talking about like how many slip ups there were for production. Like
spoiling the triple on the screen. I mean, Jesus Christ!
Spoiled though. They already knew about it. Then you want to throw that on top of it?
They figured, but they didn't know for sure.
Here's the funniest part to me. It's like Dr. Will told you, then you saw it on screen, and then still when Julie was like, well, you saw it, but it is in fact 3 people leaving tonight. Christmas was like, she still didn't get it. You know what I mean? It took she had to be told 3 separate times for it to process.
She didn't realize her name's a holiday. Are we shocked?
So I think Julie, like, she had to like totally like confirm the joke. She said like Dr. Will said think 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Get it? A triple.
I'm so glad that
Julie.
I'm so glad the edit made it clear that was a terribly, like, if you were trying to be cryptic and make them think, you failed miserably. Because the edit even showed that, like, Will left the screen and Enzo's like, all right, so double eviction this week. Like, it didn't even take him a second. He knew exactly. Like, that's not how you make people start to get the gears turning, dude.
Well, Alex, let me ask you a question. Mistake keeping Nicole over Danny.
Oh my God, yeah. Huge mistake. I mean, this is gonna end up like, I think if Enzo loses the game, like, you can come back and probably point to this. You know what I mean? And I just, you know, I mean, for a lot of reasons.
For sure.
For a lot of reasons. Yeah. I mean, and I think tonight if Nicole leaves, like, that, like, you know, basically I was talking about like a wheel, and like Cody's been sitting at the top forever. But like, I think if Nicole would leave, the wheel spins slightly, and now Enzo's at midnight and Cody's actually at 1 o'clock. Like, he's like, suddenly Cody needs Enzo more than Enzo needs Cody. Right now, it's not that way. You know what I mean? Like, that move would have been so good for Enzo's game. It's just, and it's crazy that Tyler and Christmas were on the same page to make it, but they weren't. It's just, I'm looking forward to seeing from feeds and stuff like how that happened.
Well, Alex, it's not crazy to me considering production let them like have conversations in that hallway between voting. Like, that is just like absolutely absurd.
That's pretty gross.
Have we ever seen that?
No, they've tried to coordinate little dances, but they've never been allowed to speak during.
Yeah. I've also never seen someone change their answer after it was locked in.
Dude, I thought at first I was like, oh, good. I'm glad Julie held her accountable and made her stay on the answer. But like, I only felt that way because I thought Christmas had tried to change to the correct answer. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, if she was wrong, then like, let her be wrong. How many times must we protect this woman from herself?
You just disqualify her. We locked in I would have been fine with that, even if she was right or wrong or whatever. I don't care. You changed the answer after it was locked in. You're disqualified. Done.
Yeah, that is just as much a rule as staying on the balance beam, and they all fell. Absolutely. To me, that should be a disqualification.
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, and then it's like between that and the fact that her HOH came because Davon lost, not that she won, and the fact that she still doesn't understand the only reason she made a final 3 is because she broke her ankle, not in spite of her breaking her ankle. It's like, this is the luckiest person in the history of Big Brother, and it's not even close anymore.
Okay, I'm going to answer this again because I am getting so much shit for not answering questions in the chat. Kevin, David, and Danny.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
that's who got voted out tonight.
The 3
Everybody
people who were the order maintained.
What you said was, okay, let's get rid of the rest of the minorities, and then we'll start working on the women.
Now we'll turn on the women.
That's right. Nicole and Christmas in that order coming up.
But I mean, it's funny. My mom is like a speech and communications professor, and I mean, it's like a very, very involved with like her secular humanistic Judaism group and stuff. So she has like a very specific kind of perspective on life. And I was telling her about this stuff, and she's like, Alex, what you're describing sounds like that quote. First they came for the whatever group, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't one. Then they came for the African Americans, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't African American. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. And like it goes on, and at the end,
and they came for me, and there was no one there to speak up for me.
That's been Big Brother 22. Yeah, it really has.
And here's the thing: Danny and Nicole still didn't even see that until they were both on the block. Nicole was up in the second elimination, and they still didn't see the wood from the trees. Like I'm so confused especially how much I've heard about Danny, like being able to read these things. Like I'm so confused how they don't see this.
Yes. So
I'm not confused that Christmas doesn't see it. Her dumbass can't figure shit out on her own.
I'm glad that Danny figured it out immediately, though. I mean, to her credit, like she's out there with Julie and she already knows exactly how she went wrong. You know what I mean? It's like, there are players from 3 seasons ago who still don't know where they went wrong. Mm-hmm. Like I remember 3 weeks ago, somebody like Fessy had retweeted someone that's like, man, if only I won that veto. It's like, man, Fessy, that's heartbreaking. Fessy still thinks the reason he lost is he didn't win that veto. Bro, no, you would have had to win every competition the rest of the season. Like, you don't understand how this game works. That's sad to see.
I know. Thank you.
Like, at least in Danny's defense, like she knew right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, she got it.
But she didn't do anything.
Getting up on the block and going home for her to really have it click. And the fact that she was like, I can't believe Cody voted for girl. Are you dumb?
That was interesting.
It is obvious that Cody is not with you 100%.
I'm really curious to see if Cody losing this game starts to become the dominant narrative. You know what I mean? Because like
I think that if Cody's in the final 2, it really depends on who he's next to. I don't see any option besides maybe Memphis of who.
I'm starting to wonder if Memphis might beat him. Like I'm really at that point because like I'm seeing that
maybe Nicole.
The mistakes that Cody is making are mistakes that Derek made. And so nobody has ever told him that this is something you shouldn't do. I mean, Derek stayed up all night with Jocasta praying, knowing she was leaving the next day. You know what I mean? And he's doing like I'm in jury management mode. And it's like not understanding that when Jocasta sees later that you knew the whole time she was going home and that you stayed up all night praying with her, she's not going to feel like, oh, this is one person who cared enough to spend time with me on my last night. She's going to feel like this piece of shit was just blowing smoke up my ass. You know what I mean? And then that's why Jocasta never under any circumstances was down to vote for Derek. I mean, the more he did, the more it backfired at a point, you know? And I think that's exactly what Memphis Cody doesn't get that.
This is what Memphis did in BB10 that I was trying to talk about too, like where he unnecessarily makes all these final 2 deals in the final 5.
What if we had somehow? Oh,
that's how Tyler lost Big Brother 20 as well.
Yeah, well, that
I was gonna say, what if it's somehow a final 3 and the final 3 is Memphis, Cody, and Tyler?
It's very possible.
I think it's very possible.
One of you has to fucking win this time, all right? It must be done.
Oh my god, that is truly the darkest timeline.
I really feel like Memphis is going to win this whole thing.
It's very possible, Alex.
It's so funny. It seemed impossible a couple weeks ago, but like the more other people do bad jury management, the more the guy who just goes to bed early looks like a not problematic person to win the season.
I hate to say this, but Memphis kind of looks like my future husband right now, walking around in a hoodie, unshaven, just I don't give a fuck.
He's the one player who is full like hardcore playing quarantine Big Brother.
He
Like
used to be full of life, and we're about to get married. And he's like, I just don't know if I can do it. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore.
If he starts doing this creepy grin to you,
like
get the fuck out of there.
Enzo's the one not showering in there, but Memphis is the one who looks it.
Yeah.
He's done a 180.
Memphis is starting to get the Austin from BB17 edit in our minds, like the idea where he just doesn't look like he showers.
Yeah. I feel like it might just be like too much time in the house can lead to like confused seasonal depression kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like I haven't been getting enough sun and air exposure, and now I'm a mess. Like,
I mean, basically, we've all been going through this for 6 months now, so we can all be like, "Yeah, I totally get that."
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
too long without showering.
I'm watching feeds in my underwear. I'm gonna judge Memphis right now. Really? Like, I'm doing the same thing.
Okay, can I make a confession about like quarantine? I didn't wash my hair for 9 days, and I showered 4 times.
Yeah,
that was at my low point, and I'm telling you, it was kind of liberating.
I think I went a week between showers at my lowest.
Oh my God.
A full week.
Mine wasn't a full week, but mine was close.
Disturbing.
It was probably like 5 days, and I was like
every other day, and then I added another day, and then I'm like, I didn't do shit today.
My favorite part was I was fully living with my family, and like we would go like in the lake and go swimming and everything, and they were just like, "Are you getting water on your body with soap at any time?" It seems like it's just the lake, and that's just not cutting it. I was like, "Shut up!" Meanwhile, I'm on like camera 4 days a week. Like, don't I look good?
Hey, don't stop judging me in the chat. Don't even, because let me tell you something.
I'm living alone and I don't have a job right now, so I can get away with this. This is the only time, probably for the rest of my life, that I can. So
it's called wet wipes and dude wipes. Don't act like you've never used them, okay?
It's called dry shampoo as well.
And dry fucking shampoo.
It's called depression and laziness.
That's severe depression. This is what happens when there's a pandemic. Depression.
Ask your doctor if depression and laziness is good for you.
Yeah, you're like, well, on the one hand, I could start my day, but on the other hand, I have nothing to do and the world is falling apart. So why don't I just go back to bed right now?
My cat's been licking his asshole for 20 minutes, and I've watched all 19 minutes and 48 seconds of it.
Let's be honest, that was much more that'd be much more entertaining than the lack of the cat.
Yeah.
I could have sworn you just said my husband's licking his asshole for the last 20 minutes. And I'm like, how in the fuck?
Listen, we might be good.
Man is flexible.
He's not a drinker, but if I could get half a Coors Light in him, I bet he'd try to lick his asshole.
He must be a limbo champion.
I feel like there's probably something a little slightly more accessible he'd go for than
Look, you just
that's why I was blown away.
Right in your asshole.
And Tyler's like, when are we going to get back on track to talk about Big Brother?
This is what it's come to.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like, Allison, how you were feeling about Kaser when he got evicted. That's how I feel about Danny tonight. I mean, I feel like it's like I'm a huge Danny fan. Her performance in Big Brother 13 was like beyond rootable, and I've said on this show so many times, like she is my absolute favorite Big Brother US player. And I just feel such an overwhelming sense of disappointment from her this season.
I figured you would. I mean, I know how excited. I remember how excited you were. I mean, I remember when you did that first show, like you were so pumped.
Yeah.
Even before it was confirmed, you were like, Alex, don't fuck with me. Like, if you're saying she's rumored to be like, is that a rumor you've heard? Because I need to know, like, don't play these games. Like, you were so excited. And I feel so bad that it didn't turn out.
And it really hurts because, like, I think she, I do, like, I'm glad that Tyler said that, like, she is like a legend of this game, because I still consider that to be true for her. But I think that this season, I think that she's going to be embarrassed about her performance this season.
That's why she was mad, I think. At the end.
Absolutely. And
she's not a bitter player. It's the realization that, man, I fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And like she like turned on the majority alliance in Big Brother 13. That's what ended up like being her detriment in the game. And I think she overcorrected to like she was so afraid. She was so afraid, and she had the golden opportunity to take out Tyler. And yes, like she did recognize that immediately when she went out to Julie. But like that Danny where she was like at her eviction speech, she's like calling out Christmas and Tyler final two. I'm like screaming at the TV. I'm like, where was this Danny?
That's that old school Big Brother. Yeah.
Yes. There's that scrap. And I think like out of everyone in the committee, she's the only one that's like an actual all-star in my opinion. She doesn't use her speech to talk about a vegan cookbook. She doesn't talk about like any kind of like bullshit, like things like she kept it about game, and she and once she found out she was in trouble, she fought. And what's frustrating to me is that I think that she's going to get in the jury house and she's going to say to herself, like, it's only because Tyler won HOHs that I went out. And that is so frustrating to me because like the writing was so on the wall that everybody, Nicole including, was working so hard to get her out for weeks. And the last thing that we probably see of Danny on Big Brother ever again is Nicole saying, I'm so sad that you're leaving, when she's like throwing her under the bus to Christmas. People. It's just so embarrassing. And like it hurts because I really love her as a player and as a person.
The one interesting thing about, is that now that David's also in jury, is like they were spending so much time in the last week or two trying to prime David to go after Danny and Nicole, that David actually now has receipts he can give her that will be enough evidence, I think, that the whole alliance was, you know what I mean? So like that info is there in jury. It's just, will they have those conversations?
I think there's going to be a lot of almost like buyer's remorse for her in terms of figuring out, like, let's be 100% honest. She needed to work with someone like Janelle. She needed to work with someone like Davon. She needed to work with strong women.
They were willing to also.
Exactly. And not a Nicole Franzel. Like, I don't care if you guys are friends. You can be friends in the house and work with her, but you got to be ready to cut her. And it didn't look like at any time she was ready to do that. And that's where her biggest downfall came from, is not choosing the people who had her best interests in the game at heart. She tried so hard to force that to happen. And sometimes you got to make that happen with people who are more readily accessible. If you in any way thought that the boys were going to have your back over each other, or even over Christmas, who's so much more of a bro than you and Nicole would ever be.
And a sheep.
You've got to be lying. And a sheep, exactly. You have to, like, she had so many opportunities for weeks now to be able to flip the script, to be able to take in the person who's on the outside, to work with the Kevins and the Davids and the Davons and all the people, and really turn it. And she just didn't do it. And it's because she just couldn't see that wasn't happening for her, which is totally unfortunate.
Totally by Cody as well. Like she said with her interview with Julie, I feel most betrayed by Cody. And I think like looking at, so we were just talking about like Cody's chances of winning. And I really see it slipping here. I'm looking at the people that are in jury. I don't think many of them are voting for Cody in the end.
Nope.
Hell no.
See, this is what's so funny, right? I would have said up until the past couple weeks, right? Cody is one of the best social players because he's so charismatic. He's good looking. He makes you feel good.
He flirts shamelessly without making it feel shameless too. You know what I mean? Which is really good skill that I don't fucking have. Like,
it's very rare that you do. And he gets away with it too, because he is very good looking, because of all these other factors, right? And he flirts with you, and he flirts with everybody. Guy, girl, doesn't matter. And it's, you know who he is, honestly, without, he just isn't as good of a strategic player in my mind as Parvati. He is Parvati. Parvati can flirt with anybody and capture them with their charisma and all that kind of stuff, right? And flirting isn't always like a sexual romantic thing. It can just, it's about like making you feel good and all those different kinds of things, right? He's really good at that. And he has thrown that down the toilet in this jury. I would have said he would have had a mist about him until literally the past couple of weeks. There's not a single person on that jury that's going to vote for him. He's done piss poor jury management. And part of that's because he's gotten cocky and he has like a hubris about him. It's a Greek tragedy, honestly, his gameplay.
So what I think Danny should have said to Tyler in the love room, I think she should have said, listen, like, I know everybody wants me out here. You have to realize that like you are next on the hit list after I'm gone. You and Christmas are going next For sure. I am like the world's like most giant meat shield for you in this game. You need me. You have the power. He won veto as well. Why don't you take me off or take Nicole off so that I'm still on the block? Take Nicole off and put up Cody, and we will take him. We'll take him out, and we will move forward together in this game.
But she wouldn't have done that to Cody, unfortunately.
No.
It's because she never thought that. Here's the other thing too. Like, I don't understand. Cody has always put the boys in front of the girls. Like, he did it in 16. The bomb squad was all guys, and then like Christine and Nicole. And Amber.
And they were the first ones cut.
So I don't know why Nicole's sitting here going, oh, it's not going to happen again. And I already won. So they're going to keep me around. Fuck that, Nicole. Are you dumb? I mean, no. But, and then on top of that, like Danny, you've got Nicole who's in the season with Cody. So they're going to be closer than you are. I don't care what the relationship is outside the house, right?
Right.
You've got Enzo and Cody who live 10 minutes away from each other, essentially, in New Jersey, and are bros and have like this similar kind of mindset. In what world did you think that you had Cody in your back pocket?
Yeah.
It's just these shields you can't see past. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think, and you know, just to confirm, like,
Alex, you have a marriage proposal.
oh, it's very sweet. I appreciate you.
Yes, King.
At least it seems like it's a female this time. You'd be amazed at the dudes who slide into my DMs. I'm just like, maybe one day there'll be a woman who actually is interested in me, but we'll see. Anyways.
I feel this. Except for I don't care about gender as much.
Okay, so
I was just gonna say that, like, well, like, for starters, like, I know for a fact, and I this is something that nobody else has really put out there, and like, it's something that Andy has told to me because Andy knows it on like a very personal level, but I haven't really put it out there much. But like, you know, I don't know why. Like, I should be like, everyone should know this for a fact. When Nicole lived in Chicago and Danny lived in Chicago, they hung out together all the time. They used to go on double dates all the time. Those two were the tightest relationship coming into this game, and it's not close. Like, people think people like Nicole and Ian's her real life friend. Like, Nicole and Danny were almost real life BFFs. So like that, and I really do think that's a dynamic of an all-star season that fucks things up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is when you bring in this outside relationship that you're like, God, thank God. So fortunate that I have someone from the outside world that I can trust who will never turn on me because our relationship goes beyond this game. And it's like, you're always gonna have blinders onto that person. Davon didn't ever see it coming with Nicole. Nicole didn't ever, or Danny didn't ever see it coming from Nicole. You know what I mean? It's like, Ian didn't see it coming from Nicole. It's like, when you have this outside of the game relationship, it almost fucks you over because it puts you in this mindset that this person will never target me. And like, they might not be thinking about it the same way. The other thing I wanted to say about like what we were talking about with Danny that I think is like just an interesting piece of it all is that, like, in the last 2 weeks, it became very apparent that Danny, more than anyone else in the house, is 100% aware of the perception outside of the house. Danny knows that everyone's hating this season, and people are like, "No, you think? I don't know. I think everyone will appreciate how loyal we've been to each other." And Danny's like, no, they hate us. You know what I mean? And Danny's 100% right. And she's got
even
that.
casuals hate this season.
Christmas said to Nicole yesterday that she thinks that she has America's favorite player on lock.
Yeah, right.
And she didn't even joke about it. It was serious.
No doubt, right?
Who said that? Who said that?
Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking, can we just
And she'll take Julie's job by season 25. Too.
Oh, please.
Sure.
Get the fuck out of here. You're not replacing Julie Moonves. You're not doing any of it.
I'm starting to call. I refuse to say the Moonves part anymore. I'm calling her Julie Chen, my husband's a predator.
I just want to call her JC.
You're calling her Moonves.
Well, there you go. JC has another meaning.
Well, then we can write the other JC out of their history, right? Like,
JC, you mean somebody in an underrepresented group that like does things that hurts them? What?
Imagine that.
That's what JC means?
Every time.
Every
time.
But yeah, no, I think, you were talking about, Danny being clearly frustrated there at the end. And I think a big piece of that, like you were talking about, she didn't flip on the big alliance, but more than that, she didn't work with the people she likes. She didn't work with Davon because she's trying to win. She didn't work with you know what I mean? She didn't do what she knew the fans would want to see from her, a fan favorite, because she's like, man, I'm playing to win this time.
But
she's not going to win. And she did it. She's going to lose the fan favorite thing. And dude, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed too.
She played with the people that she liked in BB13, and that was the reason that she lost.
Right.
It's like she's so scared of having that same fate that she overcorrected herself.
Yes.
It's so frustrating. And I feel like so many people this season have been able to say, like, I trusted Nicole Franzel when I should not have. Like, she is like the one hold for everybody this season.
And I'm not saying that's good jury management or by any means.
She's doing something right to build all that trust in the first place.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, you guys all know that I love to poke fun at Nicole Franzel. But you do have to give her the credit that she has built these relationships and she's willing to go back on them, even if they have a good personal bond, to further herself in the game. Now, it's not going to get her a vote. She's not going to get a vote from Davon. I would be shocked if she got a vote from Davon again. That's just not going to happen. I mean, it's not her fault with Danny. So I don't know, but I don't know.
It's so weird because she doesn't want to own it because she thinks it's bad for her image, but like she is one of the only people left who actually does have good instincts for this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that shouldn't be a negative character trait outside the house. It's a game, you know?
Let me break down Nicole Frady Cat Franzel for you real quick, because I went to high school with girls like her.
I think you were going to say I went to high school with her, and I was like,
no, hell no.
Dude, during that Nicole Christmas segment, when just the two of them talking, I was like, oh, it's the who can rat out to the guys first all-stars.
Here's the thing. She was in the popular group of girls, but she still talked to the unpopular. And she would tell them what they said. And then when the unpopular girls would confront when they would confront each other, she'd be like, oh, but that's not what I did. Like, she wouldn't own her shit.
Everybody loves me. But it's like, no, really, you're making everyone miserable by stirring fires in both places.
Horrible. You are a cancer in the house. I'm sick of hearing about your wedding. Look what you've done. You pussified Victor. Victor used to be a beautiful stallion of a man. He had chest hair, long hair, a beard, body hair. He was hot. He was like, Jesus, I wanted to worship his dick. I mean, everything was amazing.
I know someone who did.
Oh my God, don't call me out like that.
And now he looks like just looks horrible. He's not the same man.
So I would like to.
I don't know if people remember, but Victor and Paul were going on tours. Like they were touring bars after Big Brother 19, after Big Brother 18, and let's just say they were making up for lost time, having been alone in the house all that time. Yeah. I know a lot of people that hooked up with Victor during that next few months. I know a few.
Makes sense.
He was busy. He's a busy man.
A vampire. She sucks the life out of people.
Yeah.
I will say this. In terms of likability, I did more for Nicole Franzel's likability factor in 5 hours of playing Sequester on Friday of this past week.
Totally
and Nicole has done in 3 seasons of Big Brother.
Okay,
she's just so unlikable because she will never own up and she will just never admit
shit.
That's the thing. It's like even though Danny was awful this season, it's like even at the end, I'm like, man, I kind of want to respect the game you played just because like you take full ownership of it immediately. You know what I mean?
If Nicole's
refreshing these days.
No. Yes, you cut your hair to be a police officer, but everything else I'm talking about doesn't have anything to do with his occupation.
And I would argue we have different definitions of growing up.
Yeah, I respect your opinion, but I'm just going to state mine as well.
And in my intro video, I did have a moment where I said, Victor, I said, like, I'm going to slay. And then I said, Victor, I feel like I can say that because you've given me a little bit of flavor, which is like completely the opposite of what's happened. It's like she stripped all the seasoning off of him, just made him a bland chicken breast. You know, she didn't even put salt on it.
Yeah. So I guess like before we get into the drafts, because this is the first time we have Alex here since the beginning of the season.
Alex, how about my draft is writing just on Christmas.
All right,
didn't I take like Kevin first and then right, sure enough.
So this is where we stand. This is it. This is our final 6.
My other draft, I went Kevin and then Keisha back to back.
I'll put it out there. If I, for some reason, do win this draft, I'm not even happy about it. I'm not.
Don't worry about that.
I'm not proud. I'm not happy. I'm just so sorry. Hey, Memphis.
I wouldn't worry too much.
Memphis, you suck so much.
That is so funny.
What was that show where it was like just the side of a house with a bunch of windows and people popping out the different windows? You remember? There was like some old show. And now another segment. They like
it was a variety show,
right? Yeah. It's before my time, so I don't know the name, but I've seen the clips.
So
a big part of American culture.
Before we wrap up, I want to say, like, where do we go for this season? So Tyler is not going to win HOH this upcoming week because he is the outgoing HOH.
This next HOH is huge now because people actually have different targets for the first time. Like,
it's called
Laughing. That's exactly what it was.
Yes.
And also, fun fact, Goldie Hawn was on that show.
Yeah, no, they had the guest stars were out of control, man. People with the cameos were nuts.
Very young.
Well, because back in the day, you only had like the 3 channels, so like the cameos were out of control. It's like, well, if I'm going to make an appearance on TV, it's going to be on this show at this hour. How many options?
Okay, so let's talk about just some scenarios going into next
winning.
Week. I could see Memphis winning a 4th HOH coming up.
That'd be so crazy.
And it would. I think.
By the way, Memphis now that had to be a record because that has to be the shortest HOH reign in Big Brother history. Because even a double, like you have a little bit of time after the episode where you get to be HOH. Like Memphis is now officially the shortest head of household in the history of this game.
I bet. Yeah,
it
has to be.
But I think Tyler's in big trouble this week if Christmas doesn't win HOH.
Well, here's the other thing, though, too. Now we're at Final 6. Everybody plays in the veto. So does it make sense to put him on the block right off the bat? Or, I mean, you have to, right? Because
drawing his chip every time doesn't matter anymore. So.
Right. So I think if you are Enzo or Cody, for sure you've got to do Christmas and Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't think Memphis should win this one. I think he's actually pretty safe. And I think that Nicole needs to obviously try to win, but she probably won't.
She's gonna win.
Yeah.
If Nicole wins this HOH,
listening to me, she's not winning.
No, I know. So here's the thing. Every week we'd like to put forward.
I don't think any of these people left are winning, though. That's the problem.
I think Nicole's a little
No one left can win the game.
I think Nicole's a little spooked because she got 2 votes when she was up on the block against David.
Oh, yeah.
And she knows Tyler and Christmas.
And she knows those votes are still in the house. Yeah.
Right. So if Nicole wins, Tyler and Christmas go up. If Enzo and Cody win, Tyler and Christmas go up, I think. So it really comes down to Memphis and Christmas. I don't know what Memphis would do, and I don't think it's smart for him to win this one. It's better off that he just wins veto. Yeah. I think that if Christmas goes up, she'll throw Nicole up because it'll be easy, and then she'll probably put someone like, do you think she goes for Memphis? I don't know if she goes for Memphis. I think it might be Cody.
I think Cody and Enzo versus Tyler and Christmas. And Enzo is this like mighty middle, and Nicole's just kind of like floating along. I think that people are really going to start fighting for Memphis's vote this week. And I think that it only helps Memphis. Like Allison, I think you were onto something at the beginning of the season when
because
you said
David went out. If Enzo gets rid of Nicole, you know who's sitting in that middle position? Yeah. Fucking Enzo. He's in the dream. God, what a mistake.
Let me rub one out on myself real quick. This is the thing. I've been watching this show for 20 years. I didn't just start marathoning through seasons.
Can we talk about you saying you're rubbing one out? I'm so sorry.
I'm rubbing it out, okay?
Someone is clipping that on my Twitch channel right now.
It's not your first Stephen Daigle rodeo? Is that what you're saying?
I haven't seen Stephen here in a while.
That's right.
Love Stephen. There you go.
I just think that it's very... Look, it's going to come. Memphis will be in at least the final 3. This guy's going to take it. It's either going to be him or Enzo. I don't think Cody.
They were talking about turning on him at week 2, and never fucking. We can't trust this guy. He's not doing what we want.
Memphis is going to do what Memphis wants to do because he's playing for $500,000. Look, I don't care if you like the guy or not. He's doing it.
Yeah.
Period. End of it. I mean,
you know what I would
just
love, guys? I would love for it to be Memphis and Cody in final 2, and Memphis beats Cody to finally put down like the debate of like who's better, Dan
or Derek.
Yeah, exactly.
Dan taught Memphis what jury management means.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Memphis,
and that was the difference.
I think Memphis has the votes in that final 2 scenario, and I never thought that would be the case, right? Because we've been talking for weeks about how good Cody's been playing socially.
I thought he was drawing dead when jury started. I'm like, Memphis can't win this game now, and it's like,
honestly, I'm in an opposite camp. I don't want
change.
anybody who's attached to Cody or Derek to go to the final 2 because I want that to fucking shut the fuck up about it. I would much rather, like, honestly, at this point, I think it'd be really fucking funny to see like Enzo and Christmas in the final 2, or Tyler, or in Enzo, or whatever. These other people who have no fucking attachment to the outside.
This season, we always have a trump card, though. We can always, any one of us could always
another card, please.
Take it upon ourselves to go hop the fence and introduce COVID into the house if we really want to stop this thing.
Okay,
just saying.
Dr. Will,
if it gets too bad,
seriously, Dr. Will, who do we think
Nicole's about to win the second time? Maybe it's worth going to catch COVID, and then
if she wins, I'm
sharing
not
with others.
Show. I'm not. We will do a show, but it'll be me rubbing it out.
I don't mean that.
We have to make sure that with anybody okay.
Patron only.
All right, in that particular episode, we will not be airing on my Twitch channel because I don't want to get banned.
What was your question?
No, I was just going to say, who do we think actually at this point stands the best chance of capturing jury votes at the end?
I think Enzo. Who's he pissed off? He's not part of the main alliance, but he's benefiting from the main alliance, right?
Alex, I've been saying that all season
He's
long.
Sweet and blameless, and they're dragging him along. That's why you should have gotten rid of Enzo before Danny and Nicole, dude, because he doesn't have the blood on his hands that the alliance does. And look at your jury. It's Day, and it's David, and it's Kevin. He's gonna be like, "Yo, man, I tried, yo." Like, he has that argument. Nobody else tried. He can say he tried.
Also,
what does Alex look like without his hat? Alex is bald without his hat. You know this.
Ian's like a student of
Alex looks
game.
like Enzo without his hat. But not according to Enzo's mom. Did you see that?
What?
I tweeted about this. So it's on my Twitter timeline. But like, Enzo's mom was just going in the Facebook groups on people who were commenting on Enzo. And it's just like so funny. So like, one person, people are like, why does Enzo never take off a hat or a headband? And like, somebody was like, I think he's self-conscious about his hair loss. And then here's a comment from Mama Palunzo. Not true. Wrong again. Enzo has hair. He is a good-looking and attractive person. Enzo is unique for his ways. He is a character. It's like, damn, yo, Mama is fierce, and she is coming to defend her baby right now. Like,
that's it, yo. That's it.
That is not true. He has hair. You just can't see it. Fuck you. Like, oh my God. Like, okay.
But I actually saw that on the Big Brother subreddit. Somebody shared that.
Funny.
But I think another vote I think that would be in Enzo's corner is Ian. Ian's like a student of this game, and so many like big super fans of Big Brother say that Enzo is one of the most underrated players of all time because of like how well he ran everything in Big Brother 12.
He ran put him in a house with all women. I don't think he'd do well then, would you?
Right, but
we haven't seen that.
I think that if Enzo gets to the end, I think that Ian will respect that as well. So I think that Enzo is the one to beat. And I don't see him going out anytime soon either.
It's crazy.
He's not going anywhere. He's going to be in the finals. It's be him in Memphis.
He said, now that I've seen Alex without a hat, what does Tyler look like without a shirt? I like the way you're leveraging this into an... He's leveraging the show into an OnlyFans like a boss, dude.
No, I mean maybe pre-COVID quarantine, but got to get back to the gym first.
Yeah, Tyler's still employed. Wait a little while for all the weddings to stop and for him to lose the photography gig, and then maybe you'll get him to flash a little chest.
Yeah, exactly.
For coins.
But this is how I feel right now. So I'm just trying to look ahead and hype up the rest of the season, but it's hard to do. So I'm hoping that. What's that?
How abysmal are you and me? Like, how far behind am I on that?
Yeah. So, if
I
knew
got a point for Nicole.
Yeah, Nicole got her first point tonight. So congrats, I guess, on that. But
too bad you don't get points for microaggressions. You'd be fucking crushing.
Yeah. She'd have more points than Memphis.
Well, I mean, Team Beth would just be on fire.
That's true.
Wait,
looking
Ian
at
should be,
Memphis and Nicole and.
I forgot to black and white Ian. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I
That's
would
me
love for that to
wishing.
be the case.
Oh shit, Ian's still alive, dude. Let's go.
Yeah! Okay, this changes everything.
A battle back occurred I was not privy to.
I wasn't even a battle back. I said Ian, just.
So I tweeted.
You met Tyler Crispin without a shirt. I can't help you with that, bro. I can't do anything.
So I tweeted earlier. I think this is how the rest of the season goes. I think Christmas next, then Tyler, Nicole, Memphis is clipped at final 3, and I think the final 2 is Enzo and Cody, and I think Enzo wins.
I think Tyler goes before Christmas. I think that they realized he won how many competitions just tonight, and he can't win. He can't play HOH. Like, I think that it's the smartest thing for them to do is to get rid of
Tyler versus Christmas is really interesting to me now. I don't know where it goes. I do think that the fact that Tyler just tried to make a move on Nicole that backfired maybe factors in now. Nicole
I definitely think
might have voted out Christmas before. Now I think she votes out Tyler maybe because Tyler's scary.
Tyler goes first, and I think people realize that Christmas is so easy to mold in what you want to do. You get rid of the main person that's in her ear. You can do whatever you want with her.
In which case, Tyler kind of fucked up by getting rid of Danny because,
100%.
one person in the house who definitively would vote out Christmas before Tyler was Danny.
100%.
That's what this game is about in the end game. It's less about it's almost less about who's going to put me on the block. Because a third of the house has to go on the block. It's almost more about who left in the game would I be put up next to and stay? You know what I mean?
I think it was a mistake for him to put up Nicole and Danny. I really do, because this exact scenario doesn't work out for him.
What if he did Nicole and Christmas? He's used Christmas as a pawn, and she doesn't even seem to mind.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because they would have definitely voted out Nicole over Christmas.
And then you don't even have to alienate Enzo. Christmas will just forgive you because she forgives Tyler everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would have been the clutch move. Yeah.
And if anybody can do that, I think it's Tyler. I mean, you saw those fake crocodile tears. He's like, I'm sorry, I need to put up Nicole and Danny. I'm like, get out of here.
And that was a good lie to Nicole. Where I thought this is Memphis is so damn cryptic, dude. I thought that's what he meant. I thought he wanted you out. It's no, you damn sure didn't. But that was a good lie you came up with, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I unless we have any more thoughts, I think that's it. Let's make our official predictions. Who do we think is going home next?
It's going home next, Christmas. No, wait, hold on. Y'all go
Tyler.
first and then I'll go.
I think it'll be Tyler.
Tyler. Alex.
I'm gonna put it up to Tyler. I was like, Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Nicole. Just because I think Enzo, I think the two best competitors left in the game are probably Tyler and Christmas.
Yeah.
So if one of them win HOH, then Nicole.
Tyler can't win HOH.
I want Nicole to go next.
That's what I was saying. Is that the odds are that Nicole probably will not touch the block with who is left, or if they do,
that's what you're saying.
They're going to use her as a vote. Yeah.
She's going to be walking around the house like this for the next 3 weeks.
It was funny at the end of the episode. She was just laying on the ground because she's so emotionally spent.
Memphis too, and that's all of us this season. Alex, let me ask you, who do you think is the winner of the season?
I do think it's Enzo right now. Still, I really do think position wise, it should be Cody. But I just think he's neglected jury management the last couple of weeks. Through hubris, through arrogance, through whatever. You know what I mean? And I just, I do think if he goes to the end, I think Cody, if I'm trying to put myself in Cody's head, I think he probably does think all I have to do is go to the end with Enzo and I have all the alliance votes, right? Yeah. The alliance will vote for the alliance over not the alliance. And it's bro, this isn't a game about a group versus a group. When you get down to 1 versus 1, this is a game about the individual games played. And I don't think he realizes at all that Memphis has a real good chance of beating him.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps it up. We're debating whether or not to do a live feed update show or just do an off-topic show on Wednesdays. So yet to be determined, but we will be tweeting it out. So don't you guys worry. Also, we want to give a shout out to our Patreons, Valencia, Tema, Steven, Roy the Virgo, Matt Henning, Luke, Bill, and Andrew. Yes, they are friends of My Weekly Meltdown, and we thank you for being a patron. If you want to become a patron, unlock some exclusive content that we are working on. We promise. Go to patreon.com/myweeklymeltdown. Alex, where can we find you on social media?
Most things I'm at Alex Kidwell. On Instagram, I'm the real Alex Kidwell or real Alex Kidwell or something like that because somebody beat me to it. But other than that, yeah, pretty much just the Alex Kidwell or just Alex Kidwell. And yeah, I've been doing the live streams, the watch parties on Twitch. They've been really good. They've been a lot of fun. I know a lot of people who haven't been able to watch for various reasons, internet or because of the time zones or because of football preempting or because they're international. Like a lot of people have been able to watch that way, so that's been cool. And yeah. So that's twitch.tv/Alex Kidwell. If you want to check me out, we're, anytime the show is on, that's when I'm on.
Yes. You can find me. Go ahead.
I was just going to say we should shout out Kyle for our rebranding as well.
Oh, yes. If you haven't noticed, we have new branding. So our official new logo is like everywhere. And we've included the fly swatter just as a tribute to Allison, all the hard work that she's put into the show over the years. And we all would not be here. We would all not be friends and chatting how bad Big Brother All-Stars is without Allison.
Stop it.
It's true. It's all true. Allison, where can we find you on social media?
I was just gonna say, I myself, Alex, had a marriage proposal in the chat as well. I think it was Jessamy Street. Am I saying that right?
Oh yeah, Jesse.
I guess. Listen, I hate to break hearts, but I'm getting married October 31st.
Yeah.
No one should be shocked that I'm getting married on Halloween. Anyone who knows me is like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So anybody want wedding cake?
Does anybody want some cake?
Always.
So we'll be covering, I'm going to be in the middle. So if I look a little funny during the finale of Big Brother, if I have like frosted hair and a freaking fake ass tan, it's going to be because it's wedding prep.
Because you're trying to emulate Donald Trump at the debates the other night?
Right. If I become over and it's 2 minutes and I'm serious. Can you imagine if I were a moderator? Can you imagine? I would love.
This is what we want. I said we should either have Sequester moderators moderating these debates because we know how to shut down a conversation and mute people, or we need to have Allison in there to be like, the fuck do you think that you're doing? It's not your turn. It's not your turn.
No, what the fuck? You running this country? You don't know what 2 fucking minutes means? Boy, that's scary. And you want to count how many people have been affected by Corona, but you can't count the 120 seconds in 2 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
That's why we love you. Beth, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at AugustaWind11 on Instagram, Twitter, and twitch.tv/AugustaWind11 on Twitch. I am getting back into actually doing regular gaming streams, so check me out there.
Oh, and also you can find me on Twitter at Sommers1977, SOMMERS1977. I don't really post a lot on that except for show-related stuff, but you can find me the.memphis.darling on Instagram and My Weekly Meltdown on Instagram. And I changed my cat's Instagram. It's no longer Finley's Insta. It's kelly.cat.drama.
Man, you rebrand that cat, he'll never be an influencer.
Listen, I'm already getting an attitude. Okay. There's a lot of attitude going on in this house.
He's like my offers and my emails have dropped off precipitously ever since you rebranded me. This is bullshit. Like I'm trying to make a fucking living here. Like
I'm living the movie Step Brothers right now with Oliver.
Oh my God.
Trust me.
That's so funny.
It's happening.
All
right, Are you gonna post pictures of your wedding cake?
Oh my God, y'all! My wedding dress is black.
I love
maroon, but it's black.
Person.
Nice. The wedding dress is black. My tights are maroon, and I'm wearing black boots. My bouquet is black lilies, red. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be great.
And speaking of weddings,
Facebook Live it.
And speaking of weddings, if you need a wedding photographer, hit up Tyler at Scratch Studios.
Yes.
He won't come to my wedding because he's actually doing somebody else's wedding.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So I'm gonna leave us with this picture to manifest next week.
That's worked
Nicole
so well.
talking outside with her
was
mask
good.
on. So
Oh
with
my
that being said,
God.
everybody have a great rest of your night. We'll see you guys next week, and wear a mask unlike Julie Chen. And take care. Bye.